making sure that I'm here tonight. He told me I had all the time on me. Seriously though, I'm always pleased to talk about the Warren County Environmental Justice Movement. Although sometimes I must admit to you, I wonder when I'm asked to speak, what else can I say that I have not already said many times? Or if I haven't said it, more than likely you've read that. But nevertheless, what I want to do tonight is to bring to you, spend my time helping you to try to help you better understand and know Warren County and the African community, how we felt and why the struggles goes on even as we work to overcome the challenge of remembering to remember. Because, many of us want to forget. Let me just say that Warren County is a beautiful county. It was once known for its wonderful natural springs and free roaming wildlife from deer to wild turkeys. The site for the PCB landfill is now there. Warren County's population has always been predominantly black from slavery, when there were 14,000 slaves, 600 free blacks, and 4,000 whites. In the African community, many people have been homeowners for generations. That's all they had, is the home that was inherited from their forefathers and foremothers. In 1978, when we learned that 30,000 gallons of highly toxic PCB-laced oil had been dumped along the roadsides in North Carolina, and the state was making plans to build a dump in Warren County to put this waste, even though none of the waste had been dumped in Warren County. I must tell you that the community's emotions ran rampant. They ran from the gamut of feeling a sense of powerlessness to anger, to bitterness, to a great deal of fear, and a feeling of stigmatization among our youth. But despite our emotions and tears in the eyes of many of our citizens, we could see clearly enough to understand why Warren County had been chosen for the dump. First and foremost, Warren County was 65% black, and the African community was 85% black. Secondly, the county was politically impotent, with only one black elected official who served on the County Board of Commissioners and who was lucky enough to possess the same name of two white prominent community people in Warren County. Third, the state thought because we lacked economic resources that we would not be able to fight back. They grossly underestimated the human spirit of the people in Warren County. Some folks thought they could fight back through the court system, and so they filed 3 lawsuits that ultimately got dismissed. Some folk wanted to fight back with violence by committing vandalism at the landfill and threatening to shoot the first truck driver that rolled into Warren County carrying toxic waste. But fortunately, for those of us who took part in the civil rights movement of the 60s and 70s, understood that this was about justice. And we had no choice but to fight back using the tools and knowledge and skills that we learned from the civil rights movement. So in the fall of 1982, protests were held every day for 6 weeks, with hundreds gathering at the church near the landfill within a 3-mile radius of the landfill, called Cold Spring Baptist Church, marching to the dump and blocking the trucks that was carrying PCB, and we laid our bodies in between those trucks. nationally known preachers, civil rights leaders, environmental justice leaders, students, and plain old justice-loving people descended on Warren County and joined the movement of the people in Warren County in what the Washington Post dubbed as the biggest civil rights movement since the 1960s. Over 500 arrests were made, and that didn't include the 5 times I went to jail. But you know, we used those meetings and rallies between 1978 and 1982 to register people to vote. And as a result, we did gain a great deal of black political power in Warren County. I later was elected and served as registered deeds of Warren County simply because I wanted to be in a position to see who wanted to buy more land in Warren County and for what purpose. The dump was completed, however, and with the nation's eyes on him, the governor was forced to publish in the newspaper an open letter to the citizens of Warren County to detoxify the PCB landfill when technology became feasible. This promise was included in a bill that also prohibited any other toxic waste facility from being located within a 100-mile radius of Warren County. This bill was introduced and passed because of the newly gained political power in Warren County that included the legislature. In 1993, with Governor Hunt back in office as governor, I know he didn't think he was going to ever face that. It was discovered that over 1 million gallons of water was in the landfill. The dump he called the Cadillac of landfills has suddenly turned into a Ford Pinto. And you know, state officials at that point had the audacity to propose what they thought was the best solution, and that was to pump the contaminated water out of the landfill and take it to somebody else's community. But we challenged the governor to keep his promise to detoxify the landfill. We said if anybody had the wherewithal to deal with contamination, it was those of us who had been in jail 5 times and over 500 arrests.
All right.
So we made him live up to his promise. And as a result, and we demanded that a working group be established with a majority membership being community members in Warren County. And our environmental allies like Nan Freeland, who's also a part of that, and Jim Warren, who's also a part of that working group. The working group was established to oversee the physical assessment of the condition of the landfill, to develop detoxification standards, and to select a technology. And unlike in 1982, when the governor refused to meet with the citizens, he readily met with representatives of the working group and even expanded the role of the working group to also include overseeing the selection of science advisors to the working group and all other contractors. And it was not a pretty picture. It was still a fight to have the state have to have me at the table to ask questions of contractors who was going to be working in Warren County. Right. But we struggled through it. And even with the working group, there were a lot of problems based on mistrust of the state. But after a fight with some members of the legislature who wanted to dig up the contaminated soil and take it to Utah, and working through large and complex problems both within the working group and outside of the working group, contractors were assessed and hired, and finally in 2001 the detoxification began. The legislature appropriated a total of $18 million, and in late 2003 the detoxification was completed, and the citizens has forced the state to live up to its promise and move a step closer to removing the state's offense against Warren County. In the spring of 2004, more than 300 community members came together on the site with green grass once again growing and new signs of life with the deer and wild turkey and birds singing in the trees to celebrate the victory of a small battle going in the war for political, environmental, and economic justice. Yeah. We came together to memorialize the PCB dump, to dedicate the site to the memory of environmental justice, but to rededicate ourselves as soldiers in the war for justice.
All right. Yeah.
Let me close my remarks by saying to you that although the PCB dump is detoxified and the site itself sure is the cleanest soil in Warren County anyway, we are still reeling, and Warren County has not recovered from the economic injustice caused by the siting of that dump in Warren County. Warren County citizens still have grave concerns about the possible health effects from that PCB dump, both when it ballooned up and the state went in and cut holes in the plastic that had ballooned up and let out the air into the environment without even putting a vent over it because we asked them to. They decided to do everything against what we asked them to do. We still have grave concerns about how both institutions and individuals use this movement to advance themselves and not share resources with Warren County.
All right.
So many have written theses, received both master's and doctorate degrees, and have never stepped foot in Warren County. So many books have been written and royalties received and never shared a penny of that resource with Warren County. And you know, we sometimes joke about it. I don't know how many of you have heard about the story of the farm animals, but we say we are the pig in that story. The story goes that one morning all the farm animals got together to decide what they could do to show their appreciation to Farmer Brown for how nice he had been and how well he had taken care of his farm. And so finally, the majority of people decided that they wanted to do a breakfast for Farmer Brown. And each one of those farm animals, the leaders who had got together, said, that's a great idea. And I tell you what, and each one of them started talking about what they can contribute to this breakfast. Mr. Cowell said, well, I'm willing to give all the milk that you need for this breakfast. And Mrs. Hen said, me and my family will give you all the eggs that you need for this breakfast. And before Mr. Pig could get his turn to talk, the others had said, Mr. Pig can give the bacon, the ham, and the sausage. And Mr. Pig said, y'all don't know the difference between a commitment and a sacrifice. But y'all, in Gary's words, SOBs, what we need to do is make a sacrifice. You can really make a contribution. And that's the way we feel in our lives.
All right.
So many people have asked us to make the sacrifice to be with you. Yeah, we like to see you talk about Warren County. But Now let me really close by asking you to put September 15th on your calendar to come to Warren County to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Warren County Environmental Justice Movement. We look forward to seeing all of you there to begin to make the sacrifice. Thank you.
Thank you.